The reason I'm here is to show solidarity with the Palestinian people who have been brutally bombarded, starved, massacred, displaced from their homes. There's a genocide happening and we're here to stand up against it.
It's totally terrible, totally immoral, you know. And I can't see why people can just stand there and let things happen.
I think it's important to show solidarity with Palestinian people who are, being killed and massacred.
Even though there's been some kind of movement in the United Nations, we still need to put a massive amount of pressure on our government and on Israel.
Even after the deal for the ceasefire, they still went and bombed again. So we are here to stand against that, and we are here to stand with the Palestinians.
We are seeing the systematic dismantling and targeting of hospitals, the destruction of a healthcare system, the barbaric acts of rape and execution of health workers, of pregnant women at Al Shifa Hospital. And we are here to keep pushing our message, which is, since day one, there needs to be a permanent ceasefire.
We've had what is effectively famine now. We've had hospitals wrecked. Virtually every hospital in Gaza has been wrecked by the Israelis. It is not good enough for our government and the American government to just make the odd criticism and do nothing. They could stop arming Israel, they could demand an immediate ceasefire, and that would make a real difference.
The support for Israel, the diplomatic, economic support for Israel that our government gives them is absolutely disgusting. The Israeli impunity must end.
Today protest is in the anniversary of the Land Day. In 1976, Palestinians protested because Israel confiscated more than 70,000 dunams from their land.
And I think it's a must for the people of Britain to come together. Even if this is happening in London, it's happening in other cities as well. Not only that, but women are coming across Arab countries, which is very significant, in Cairo, in Iraq, in Amman. They're raising their voices because of the strength of this movement.
Really important as a Jewish bloc to use our voices, to lift our voices and to say, this isn't in our name, and that actually the actions of Jewish people aren't tied to the state of Israel, and Jewish people are not a monolith. We don't have one opinion on Zionism, we don't have one opinion on support for Netanyahu's actions, and for many of us we are horrified, and many of us have changed our minds very recently in the last 6 months about our feelings on Zionism, on the state of Israel. I just think it's really important we're marching because today is Palestinian Land Day.
Zionism is anti-Semitism!
There's a state that's getting away with, murdering children, day in, day out, and it's just, I don't know how you can't be heartbroken about that, and how you can't be enraged as well, about the fact that, whole families getting wiped out, whole generations getting wiped out.
I am here to show that a lot of Jews, and particularly the survivors of the Holocaust, are against what's going on in Gaza, and we don't want anything in our name, and certainly not abusing the memory of Holocaust to justify the atrocities that are going on.
Well, it's a free country. They're entitled to fly their flags, but I think it's disgusting what they're supporting. They're supporting an Israeli government that's committing genocide in Gaza, that's supporting apartheid in the occupied West Bank and in occupied East Jerusalem, and they're supporting a state that itself is racist.
You and all those like you have played an instrumental role to get us to this point.
The persistence of the people, 170 days on Land Day, the 30th of March, you have these tens of thousands in the streets demanding the enforcement of the UN Security Council resolution for an immediate fire, demanding sanctions to be imposed on Israel for violating the basic provisions of international law and for not abiding by the UN Security Council resolution, demanding an arms embargo to be enforced immediately on the occupying power that is committing genocide as speak. This is the power of the people. This is not a sprint, it's a long marathon. And I think the people today have proven that they are up for this long journey to freedom.
And in the week when the United Nations Security Council finally said there has to be a ceasefire, we particularly welcome all those people today.
Today's demonstration is on Easter Saturday and during Ramadan, and so it's interesting, a number of people that have come out who are all celebrating important religious events, but it's also the first one since the UN Security Council vote that took place where the United States did not veto the motion. The only reason the US didn't veto the motion is public opinion in the USA and around the world. Our demonstrations matter and are changing things.
11 times we have walked to say that Jewish people do not subscribe to this crap any more than anybody else does.
In some ways I think, well, how does me being Jewish give me more of a right to have an opinion about genocide? But you understand where it comes from, that the smear of anti-Semitism against the demonstrations, hate marches, and so it's important for Jewish people to say we're not associated with this genocide, really, because Israel claims to speak for all of us, and it clearly doesn't.
On behalf of 2.3 million Palestinians now in Gaza, they send you their most warmest welcome. Every day they check their social media on their phones. And one of the first things they look at is, what are my relatives telling me about the people like you, that without your support, we wouldn't be where we are now.
It's extremely important, given the historic importance of the UK and their current position in the world. It is very important that those in power see these masses of people and what they're demonstrating for. Even after over 6 months, they're still passionate about what's happening in Palestine. They are not standing down while their government is complicit with what is happening right now. It is important that we focus on a permanent ceasefire and to stop arming the Zionist state of Israel.
The importance of today's protest is to protect Gaza and stop. And the USA, UK should stop arming Israel.
The supporters of massacres and ethnic cleansing have already lost the argument.
It was on my father's shoulders when I was 3 that I was taken to my very first demonstration, learning to chant Free Palestine, when even the word Palestine was something our politicians wouldn't say without courting controversy.
How can we be the generation that ends this? How can we end the silences? How can we speak up? How can we find each other? How can we make sure that my children don't have to stand as I stood, saying those words? And it has to happen. We have to deeply believe it, and we have to do the hard work that makes that possible.
Here is my prophecy. Here is the future that I see. The land will sing in peace again. Its people will be free.
It's difficult as an artist to sort of feel like anything that I have to sing about is sort of relevant when this kind of a horror is happening. But at the same time, it just feels good to be able to be of use and hopefully have other people, because my industry has been so silent, so to have other people see someone like me get up on the stage and represent, and stand in solidarity with the people of Palestine right now.
They fear us because a free Palestine would be a blow against their empire.
It's a permanent movement we have now that is staying in the streets, that is building, that is representing the opinion of the vast majority of people. So it's been fantastically important. It's Ramadan, it's Easter, but still hundreds of thousands of people came out on the streets, and that's fantastic.
Today the Palestinian people are giving us a message. We will endure, we will prevail, we will rise up again from the midst of destruction as we have always done. And today we are saying to them, we stand in solidarity with you.
We are here today to say that the killing must end, the actions of the Israeli state must end, but our government has to stop condoning this genocide.
We have not yet been defeated.